All right.
So this is episode 43?
45.
44?
Or is it 46? I'm losing my mind.
It's 45. Our last episode was 44.
Okay. We're sure. We're positive.
We are not neutrally negative, so... Worst case scenario, it's episode 46, and you just be like, whoops, and put 46, just really badly edited in the place of 45.
Yep.
Just take this recording right here, 46, and use that if it fails.
It is episode 45 of the Ctrl cast. We are here. Well, most of us are here.
Most of us.
As you hear, we have somebody calling in.
This is Peter coming in from outer space, also known as Toronto, Canada.
Hey.
I'm currently dwelling within a basement of my friend's house as we record this, so if I come in a little scratchy, it's because I'm basically a golem. And, yeah.
So wait, you're a golem from space?
Yes.
All right. I've heard the farther north you go, the closer you are to space. That's how that works, right?
Yes, north. I mean, up is space. So
and
that means north
up.
is space.
Yeah, clearly.
That means Canada is in space.
And like North Pole is just like the beginning of the universe. No one actually has been there ever.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Definitely how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of being in Canada, how's everybody's weeks going?
Let's start with Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So I'm basically on vacation right now. I'm going to be here for a week. This is like my 5th out of 7 days. So I'll be here for a couple more days. I'll be heading back to sunny California. But a couple observations about Toronto is that they have the worst drivers I've ever seen. And this is coming from someone who lives in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That's an impressive feat, Toronto.
I would say Los Angeles doesn't have the worst drivers, per se. They have some of the rudest drivers. Does that make sense? Like, people will do dick moves, they'll go out of order, etc. Do you know what I mean?
They don't follow the zipper method?
Yeah, but in Toronto, what they do, nothing to do makes sense. Nothing.
Oh.
So like, just random,
so you will be, like, driving out of a parking lot, trying to make a left. Someone will drive up to the left of you from behind to make a right and block off your vision of oncoming traffic. Does that make sense? Like they're
Uber did.
Like, you know how you leave the lane open to your left?
Yeah.
So that cars could come in? Yeah, I had someone today just literally drive up to my left to make a right before me. Me describing it is making me trying to lose my mind. But like, there's that. There's people like turning left simultaneously, even though they're in the same lane, which it's upsetting. The driving here is upsetting. It's really bad.
Wow.
That sounds worse than most. I mean, I've been in Tennessee, and the drivers there, everybody tailgates. Like, you don't even drive correctly if you don't. Like,
they're just drafting for fuel efficiency. That's all they're doing.
No. I don't know. It's just, Toronto, it's not that they're dicks. They're just actually insane. So, there's that. Also, the part of Toronto I'm in is actually... It reminds me a lot of like the San Gabriel Valley. There's a lot of Asian people here.
Asians people.
Asians people. Oh my god, I can't even speak. But yeah, a lot of Asian people here for sure. Like a lot of Chinese people. So like, it reminds me a lot of like America. Like it's a lot like America. But then I went to McDonald's the other day. I got
a Royale with
my
cheese.
change was $3.50, right? And they passed me back 3 coins, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? So apparently one of the coins is called a toonie because it's worth $2. The other coin was called a loonie and it's worth $1. And then they gave me a 50-cent coin or something like that.
So you tell me there's a loony and a toonie? So
yeah.
So Canada is the world of Looney Tunes.
Like the dollar is called the loonie, and then they call the $2 coin the toonie because it's 2 loonies, so it's a toonie.
They're tiny, they're toony, they're all a little loony.
Oh
it's literally, it's insanity. So
Looney Tunes.
But yeah, Canada's been really fun. I've been drinking like every day since I got here. It's bad, and spending maybe a little too much money. But yeah, it's a good time. I'm enjoying it here though, for sure.
You spend money on vacations. That's
usually how it works.
Yeah. All right, I'm good with that. How about you guys?
Alrighty.
Tony?
Me? It's been pretty busy. The last 2 weeks have been finals for school, so I've had a lot of projects to finish that are kicking my ass, actually.
Lovely. What courses you taking?
Pro Tools 110 and music production analysis. So yeah, Pro Tools specifically, there are 2 separate projects.
Oh, by the way, Peter, we can hear you typing.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to cut
sorry.
that out.
I'm looking up, my apologies. I'm looking up the links for stuff, but yes, continue.
Cool.
Because my phone is dying right now, so that's what I'm using to actually look at the links. But I looked up the links on the computer, so there's that. Sorry. Continue.
All right, Tony, you were taking tests. You had the Pro Tools. You had the music production. Is that what you said?
Yeah, music production analysis.
Right.
That one is a lot of learning how to listen to tracks. Well, they call everything records, even if it's not record in a sense of
like a vinyl,
an album or vinyl record. Record means recording. So
I mean, okay, sure, that makes sense.
Listen to records in this class just means one song. But you learn how to listen to records in a different way that I've never tried before, where you have to discern the emotional intent, notice kinesthetic responses, like in certain parts you bobbed your head to the music or your eyebrows raised, you protruded
the hair on the back of your neck goes up, kind of a thing.
You get goosebumps, you protruded your lips, tap your foot, that kind of stuff. Some other interesting things like creating a...
Although wouldn't that vary person to person though? Their kinesthetic reaction?
It would.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of these assignments, especially this final one right now, I need 2 test subjects to play a song to. So I have to observe their responses and ask them questions. I've been using Victoria and her mom mostly for these.
Okay.
But yeah, I have to observe them, and they also have to write down their own observations of their responses, and then I do a whole write-up. And then another thing we do is called an emotional analysis chart, something like that. This is actually really hard to do. You have to listen to the song many, many, many times.
Cool.
Because you chart it out. First, you identify the song form, like intro, chorus, whatever. Then you say the timestamp at when each of those things happen. Then you put a analysis of what happens at that time, like guitar solo, or this is where the background vocals come in. And then you chart out the dynamics, like it's soft here, then it gets a little bit louder here, goes back down there, and you draw it as like a line graph kind of thing. And then there's an emotional chart on top of that, which you gauge the emotion of the lyrics and the music, which does not necessarily correlate with the volume, which is interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it could be a really intense moment of the song, but it's like completely silent, which could be the highest emotional point.
Silence is golden, they say.
Yeah, no, it's used really effectively. Like, let's say, I don't know, soundtracks.
Do you know what else is golden?
A shower in certain cases.
Damn it! God, fucking sorry, continue.
Oscars are gold. But yeah,
that's a much less exciting answer. Tony. Come on.
Gold is gold.
I mean,
so yeah, I've been doing a lot of that, a lot of projects. I've also been trying to work on some video projects for us that have not been entirely fruitful.
Womp.
Yeah, I tried to do one the other day and couldn't hear me at all.
Hey, sometimes it's a growing pain of figuring out how to make it all work.
But it was like a perfect video. It made me so mad. Like I had everything synced well, like the gameplay and what I was talking about.
You should have just re-recorded yourself.
Like on top of but then no, I would, because they were candid reactions and things. So now I have to play through that game again and try to find.
See, but now you can make them super over the top candid reactions by overreacting.
Oh my god!
Yeah, exactly.
Is it possible?
Exactly like that.
No. Yes, we had a pool party the other day too,
Nice.
and that was fun. A lot of people came over. I grilled up some burgers. We had a full spread actually. A lot of food there.
Wasn't that 2 weeks ago?
It was, but we didn't have a podcast that week.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
So technically we have 2 weeks to talk about, but
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about my last week, I think.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I've just been buried with school finals,
Fair enough.
but yeah. What about you?
So the reason we didn't have a podcast last week is because I was out of state in a place where I did not have internet access or phone access, which was in a place called Sisters, Oregon. It's kind of in the northern part of Oregon near the Redmond airport. And basically, my girlfriend's family was having a reunion. Her dad's side of the family is having a family reunion. They gather every year at this campsite. They rent a bunch of cabins, and they just do some fun stuff. So that's primarily what I was doing. And some of the stuff we did, it was, I golfed for the first time ever.
Hey, how was that?
Well, we did 18 holes.
Oh man, for the first time ever.
For the first time ever, we did 18. But we played best ball because there's no way we would have been able to finish a game if we had gone with all of our balls individually. I'd like to think for a first timer I did fine. I still don't quite understand how to swing correctly.
It's hard.
I got specifically like highlighter blue balls so that I can find them when I inevitably hit them somewhere they're not supposed to go.
Yeah.
But I only lost 4. So, for the first 18 holes I've ever done, apparently that's pretty decent. Or maybe just everyone I was playing with is way worse than I was the first time. I don't know.
That's also possible.
But the golf course was nice. They strangely had like cabins on like the outsides of the course. So like every time I was slightly nervous when hitting the ball, I was just going to jettison it into someone's living room and just ruin their day. Fortunately, I never did that. I got it on the course for the most part.
Yeah. Speaking of blue balls, I actually had mine struck today by someone.
Fantastic.
This girl was standing next to me, and she started doing that like flossing dance. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where you swing your arms back and forth.
And
she literally just fucking full white knuckle hit my balls, and I was keeled over for like 10 minutes, and then I had like the nausea pain in my stomach for like an hour. She like straight up hit me like almost as hard as she could without realizing it.
So yours were blue not because of unable to relieve themselves,
no,
but
just
because
from bruising.
From bruising.
Right.
That's pretty
Physical
rough.
pain.
Physical pain, yeah.
So,
but
yeah, I thought, yeah.
It was kind of interesting though, golfing. Going back to that, I always knew golf was kind of a rich person's sport because it costs a lot to do, costs a lot to buy the stuff and all that stuff. It wasn't that expensive to do 18 holes with a golf cart rental and club rentals and everything. It was like, I want to say 140.
Well, let me put it this way: in Ohio, 6 of us went. We got 2 carts. $20.
What course were you playing on? Dirt? Like
No, this is a really nice course.
what?
Yep.
Where in Ohio is this?
Wellington.
I guess if you want to golf, go to Wellington, Ohio.
Yeah, it's a great golf course. We only did 9 holes.
I will not.
I mean, supposedly, if you look at prices in this area, if you go towards a little north of here or like southeast of here, I want to say, there's a couple golf courses in, boy howdy are those expensive.
Yeah, Santa Clarita I think is really expensive, and then the ones out near like Encino area, whatever that is.
Yeah, there's a few places, but
Balboa Park or whatever.
So it wasn't as expensive as I was saying. But anyways, so golfed for the first time ever. That was interesting. We also played a bunch of board games, and one of her cousins, I want to say, actually made a board game, and we were like play testing it.
Cones of Dunshire?
No. No. It's a pirate game.
Okay.
And apparently he's been playtesting it every year, and it's gotten better and better, which means the first year was kind of crap, but now it's getting to a point where it's actually a game. And it was interesting. I'm not going to describe it too much in detail because I don't want to give away his ideas to any prospective board game creators out there. But it was pretty good. And we played. I brought a bunch of board games because I pack light and was able to fit board games in my bags. So we played a bunch of board games. There was fishing and stuff, fly fishing, which I did not take part of, but I was interested in doing. But I was just busy doing other stuff. And then that was mostly that trip. It was a 4-day, like shortish kind of a thing.
Okay.
And other than that, it's mostly just been work. And potentially looking for a new place to move, which in retrospect should have been one of the first things I said.
Well,
because it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking for a place to move. For those wondering why would I move out of a house, it's to move into a different house with someone else.
Hey.
So,
It's a big step.
it is a big step. Hopefully all goes well. In the house buying it is, I don't want to say like,
Yeah.
oh man, hope everything goes well in the relationship. 'Cause that's a real good way to start that. But yeah, doing that's been keeping me pretty busy on weekends, especially. And that's been my week.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So, with that being said, so today is I guess a monumental occasion as well.
In some senses.
In some senses. This episode number is officially 1 year after our episode 1 E3 2017.
And imagine that it's the E3 2018.
Which is a perfect segue. Welcome to E3 2018. Oh my, I cannot speak.
I mean, this would normally be like
podcast.
the news.
It would be the news.
It is the news, but the news is E3 2018.
Correct.
And to keep things a little bit shorter than last time, I think we're going to change our format a little bit.
We are.
Meaning we blow it wide open. Format's completely changed, folks. Keep up.
So if you listen to episode 1, we covered every single game from every single conference and had an opinion about it. This episode, we are going to narrow it down to our favorite picks for each conference.
Well, our favorite and then least favorite. I think
favorite
is
and least.
kind of what we want to shoot for.
That's better. Favorite and least favorite.
Okay.
And we're going to go in order, which Peter has available to him, I believe. I did not write my responses in the exact order that they appeared.
Yeah. So we're going to start with EA first because that was the first conference. So
that I do have.
It starts with EA and then it ends with, what was the last one? Square Enix?
Nintendo
was last. That's right. Okay.
So starting with EA. So first and definitely foremost the worst. EA.
EA.
Just no game, just EA is the worst and the best of EA.
I gotta say, EA had a very unsurprising, very conservative conference, I would say.
Yeah.
Which easily makes it the worst of the AAA conferences.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Command and Conquer Rivals.
Oh, yeah.
Best of the show.
Their mobile thing?
Yeah. Best of the show, am I wrong?
Yes.
And that's a mobile game, which is not saying very much for EA.
I don't think that wasn't their best, in my opinion.
No, that was sarcasm, Matt. I'm sorry.
That'd be really sad
really
if
bad.
it was their best.
It was just Battlefield and sports games, and the only thing that actually really looked interesting to me were their more indie title looking games. Sea of Solitude looked beautiful, and it makes me really interested in what that kind of game is, or what kind of game that game is, I should say.
Yeah, I have that on my list as well as one of my favorite
So
ones.
that game and Unravel 2 were both interesting to me. Everything else was pretty meh.
That's
my list is exactly the same.
It's pretty much exactly what I said too.
We got to see some exploration, gameplay of Anthem, which was kind of cool, I guess. But that game's coming out in February, and it's just what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, yeah, EA.
Yeah, EA was not very exciting this year.
Yeah.
So I think having all agreed that that's our favorite / least favorite, we should move on to the next one.
Yep. Next one is Microsoft.
Microsoft had a very interesting conference.
Yes.
So I guess I'll go off on this one.
Do it. Take it away.
Microsoft announced so many games this year, and I feel like their big focus was trying to get people interested in buying their consoles because they don't have very many exclusives.
They even announced the new console.
Yeah, yeah, that's something else. But in terms of games, which is what we want to focus on,
Right.
they announced many, many games. But the problem was, and still the problem with Microsoft, not many of them were exclusive. In fact, I think Halo, and was there a new Forza that was announced as well?
Yes.
Forza Horizon 4.
I think those were like the only really exclusive ones they had.
At PUBG, like,
I mean, sure,
which is not
but
really
that's
exclusive.
PC. Yeah.
Actually, that was interesting with them when they kept showing the like console exclusives. Like that was the title of the game. How is it a console exclusive?
I think they mean it's exclusive to that console as opposed to PlayStation 4, but it's available for PC. Does that make sense?
It does, but remember last year, console exclusive meant it came with the launch of the console, right? Isn't that how it was? Like
No.
a console exclusive game.
No, it wasn't with the launch of the console. It means it's only available on that console.
Okay.
So like Smash is a Nintendo console exclusive because it's only ever been on Nintendo consoles, kind of a thing.
Got it.
So in terms of what I was excited about with Microsoft, it actually wasn't specifically Microsoft, but Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's the new game coming from CD Projekt Red, which did the Witcher series, which has been highly praised, well known. That game looks really good, and I want to say that the preview from the Microsoft conference was the only Cyberpunk 2077 preview.
Yes,
yeah,
I believe so. Unless it was in the PC gaming show and I missed it.
It was not.
I don't think
Microsoft did this whole like they're getting hacked
like
thing.
Microsoft definitely they definitely premiered a lot of games first at their conference, even if they weren't necessarily exclusive to Xbox.
Right. They even had the first preview for Kingdom Hearts 3, which is odd considering it's Microsoft. You would think that either Sony or Square Enix would take reins of the first preview for that, but
dude, speaking of Kingdom Hearts 3, oh my god, those were the weirdest trailers just throughout the entire E3 because like you would really hear the voices of the voice actors and then hear no sound effects, so it sounded fucking strange.
Yeah, their sound mixing was awful. They just had the layer of sound, which was the voice acting, and they removed everything else.
I mean, besides like the music, but like,
it wasn't even music that fit the situation. It was just their
it's just like the soundtrack.
Yeah, that they chose for the whole trailer. Super weird.
Oh wait, Gears of War 5 also is a
that's coming in 2019.
You mean the Funko one?
No.
That was on phone, I believe. Right?
The Funko one's coming to mobile.
Yeah. But yeah, that's probably my most excited one is 2077 Cyberpunk. Probably my least favorite thing about Microsoft was actually them acquiring 5 different studios. I know that sounds weird, but every studio that Microsoft has ever acquired has basically shit the bed after they've been acquired by Microsoft. So I'm a little worried that after they have acquired all these studios that did great things, like they acquired this team, the Ninja Theory team, which did Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. They took over the people that did We Happy Few and like a bunch of different things. And like I'm just worried that they're going to go the Rare route where they just kind of kill them, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. But like We Happy Few, I heard is actually a decent game now because they really focus on the open world survival part of that game, and now it's like actually just more story narrative focused, like a BioShocky kind of game.
But is that because of Microsoft or because they just decided to go that direction and then were bought by Microsoft?
I am inclined to say that they probably wouldn't have the internal resources to completely remake the game without having been bought. I'm inclined to say that they were bought, and then from there they were able to start from the ground up again with an interesting concept.
Okay, well, those are my favorite and least favorite things about Microsoft. What about Tony? How about you?
I had a few. It was hard to decipher.
Well, give us a couple for each then.
So favorites would be Cyberpunk 2077.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually really surprised by Devil May Cry 5.
Okay.
I think it looks pretty awesome, and it seemed like not many people were expecting a brand new DMC game.
Well, I think it's because specifically the DMC game, that new like reboot of Devil May Cry, people were like, "Oh God, they've killed the series."
Yeah, now
But now they have a direct sequel from
check
4.
this out.
It's like, what?
Wait, I heard people actually really liked the last DMC game.
Well, they killed Dante, I should say,
Oh, I see.
and like those set of characters. So it's interesting that they went back to that set of characters.
Yeah. I don't think that's not Xbox exclusive.
No,
is
it's
it?
coming to PC. It's
Yeah.
coming to
So that's
PS4.
another
for
one.
sure.
Yeah.
Another one that looked really interesting to me was Jump Force, and I don't know if that was Xbox exclusive either.
Quite
don't think
honestly,
it
I
is.
think pretty much everything except for Gears of War, Halo, and Forza were.
And Battletoads. I
and
think that is
Battletoads.
actually
I think Crackdown 3 also might be Xbox exclusive, from
Oh,
my
okay.
understanding.
Okay.
yeah. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have like 8 games on here that looked interesting to me, but
okay,
they announced
give us
50
the
of
top
them. So
3.
all right, so top 3 would be Cyberpunk, Jump Force, and a tie between Crackdown and Devil May Cry.
What about
Yeah.
Ori?
Ori's cool, but that's coming out for PC, so
Well, okay.
most likely I'll
All
be
right.
fine with that.
Okay. So,
It was, in terms of the worst,
Yeah.
man, I don't know.
I don't think you necessarily have to say anything about the worst, and if you
Gears.
don't really have anything that stands out.
Gears Tactics, but it might be good. I don't know.
Holy shit, what was that?
Sorry, that was my phone.
Okay, because that was really loud for me.
oh yeah, I guess it would be loud for you.
Yeah, I received an email. Sorry.
Okay. So how about Peter? What do you got for us for?
I mean,
Microsoft?
obviously, best of the show for me, like best of all of E3 for me was easily Cyberpunk.
Really?
Yeah,
All of E3?
easily.
Okay.
Like, that game looks insane. I think the wait was worth it in terms of like what they seem to be showcasing, like all the hype I'm hearing from people who are able to get their hands on the game on the show floor. They're saying that this is the most insane and like what's the word? Like most ambitious game ever made. And it seems like CD Projekt Red was the perfect studio to execute on their vision of this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, I'm super excited for that game. Like, super fucking excited. But like, I gotta say, like, I think Microsoft as a whole, even if not all their games are exclusives, like, I think they pretty much had like super solid looking titles.
Yeah.
Throughout. Like, I'm really excited for Ori, the Ori sequel.
Mhm.
I'm curious as to what Halo Infinite will be, even though I haven't played a Halo game since like since Reach. Yeah, like Kingdom Hearts, obviously it's not an exclusive title, but you know that game looks really fun.
Of
The
course.
Cuphead DLC looks really fun too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
like-
I had that on
The
there.
delicious
They-
last course.
They've got a lot of stuff on the way, but in terms of like actual games that are exclusive to Xbox, I think Crackdown 3, even though like the way they've showcased it before, it looked really bland to me. Something about the way they cut this trailer made the game look really fun. So like Crackdown
Yeah.
3, I think looks interesting
It
for sure.
reminded me of like, frick, what's the game?
Nice.
The game on PS3 where you can be good or bad.
Injustice.
No. It's something like that.
Okay.
The one where you have lightning powers.
You mean Injustice?
Injustice is a
no,
fighting
sorry,
game.
no,
I know what you're talking about.
Oh gosh, no, I know what you're talking about too.
Oh, what is that game?
It's not Insidious either.
So
I was thinking of that.
Shazam and Injustice. I'm kidding.
Infamous. There we go.
Infamous.
Yeah,
right.
Infamous. There we go.
I
Yeah,
got the
that's the one.
in part right.
Yeah, it reminded me of Infamous a little bit.
Okay.
Just kind of how you float around and. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that was cool.
Sure.
And I think if Terry Crews voices the main character, that would make it even more fun.
Oh
so.
my goodness. All right. Well, so what was your least favorite thing, Peter?
Least favorite thing? Well, I wouldn't say like least favorite, but like definitely the game I'm least interested in is Gears of War Funko, whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Although if it's kind of like a XCOM thing, it might be interesting.
It depends
Yeah.
because it's a mobile
I mean,
game.
that's the tactics game, not the Funko game.
Oh,
I think
right.
The Funko game's something else.
Well, that's right. They announced 2 different ones.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the one. Also, I never was really into the Just Cause series, so another Just Cause wasn't really that interesting to me.
Okay. That's
And
fair.
Jump Force, I don't know how, like, what about it is, but like the way the characters look kind of really weird to me.
It's because they're like 2D
Stylized.
anime in a 3D space.
Yeah, maybe like it would have looked better if they were cell shaded, but like I don't know, it's just weird.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right. Well, I think
we're
that
moving
covers...
on to Bethesda.
Yeah. Tony, you want to start us off for Bethesda?
Sure. So we all agreed that Bethesda had a really strong show this year.
Yes.
Just in terms of I don't know, everything really. I mean, they had great speakers. They had speakers, as in people talking.
Presenters, yeah.
Presenters.
Hosts, you could say.
Yeah, hosts. They even made fun of
Themselves.
Walmart and themselves. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really great. That Skyrim video with Keegan-Michael Key was fantastic.
Yeah, Skyrim. Super special edition.
Yeah. Play it on your smart
On your
refrigerator.
Amazon Alexa.
That was hilarious. But in terms of actual games, though, Doom Eternal and Fallout 76
Nice.
for me.
Yeah.
I'm very curious of how Fallout 76 is going to turn out.
Yeah, like
Excuse
I'll
me.
get to it a little more when it's my turn to talk, but it seems like they're trying something they haven't done before, which is both good and kind of scary
Well,
for the
didn't-
Fallout series.
Didn't what they explain it was it's a open world MMORPG, but
That's not
with-
what they've done with
sort
that
of.
game before, is what I'm saying.
yeah, but with a cap of like 12 people per session.
Something like that, yeah.
So
I don't think it's gonna have RPG elements from what it looks like.
Yeah.
I feel like, because they did say that there's gonna be no NPCs in the game.
That's what kind of scares me about that game.
it's going to be like a more loot based game, like a Destiny type.
Maybe, but it's
I
not
would say
gonna
it's
have
more
the-
similar to like Rust.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's not going to have the shooting mechanics that like are tight and stuff if they're
Yeah.
anything like the previous Fallouts.
Actually, I kind of hope it's a little buggy. That'd be interesting. with 12 people in your squad or whatever.
Fallout is fantastic for its bugs. It's ooh,
That game is basically just all bugs duct taped
Yeah,
together.
it is.
and made into a story.
Actually, I was talking about this particular game to somebody yesterday, and he was interested in the capability of their servers and stuff, how they would do that 12 person session thing with millions
Mhm.
of people. But I was thinking, any MOBA or something like that, they do that. It's like 5-on-5
Yeah,
in each game.
I'm curious how they're gonna continue the monetization of the game as well. Since it's online
Yeah.
only, are they going to do subscription? Are they going to do? I know that loot boxes are not what they probably want to do, but are they going to do something like that? Like, because keeping up servers for the Fallout community can be quite a heavy cost to them. So I'm curious what they're going to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that'll
that
be
was
interesting to see.
yeah.
those are mine.
Those were your favorites. What did you dislike anything about Bethesda's announcements?
I don't think so, really.
Okay.
Let me look at their full list here. Well, someone else go while I'll look the
right.
list.
Well, and for me personally, the thing I was probably the most excited about was the new Doom game, just because of my reservations about Fallout 76. I am a Fallout fan. Fallout 4 wasn't that great for me. I really liked New Vegas. I really liked 3. But but Fallout 4, like, it just didn't have the same feeling as Fallout 3 and New Vegas. And this is going even farther away from that in a totally new direction. So I'm a little hesitant to call that. I'd like to say I'm anticipating it. And I know Elder Scrolls 6, this is something a lot of people want, but I've never been that big of an Elder Scrolls fan. So for me, it's Doom Eternal is my favorite thing.
Nice.
My least favorite thing would probably be,
Elder Scrolls Blades.
well,
That I forgot about that. Or Starfield.
yeah,
Those would be my bottom ones.
yeah. Basically, the mobile games are like my least favorite, but it's not like it's bad. It's just I just don't give a crap about mobile games from
Yeah.
these companies.
Actually,
And, like-
Rage 2 looks pretty freaking good too.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because Rage wasn't exactly a well-received game because of its limitations and just buggy messiness. But I mean, it looks good. I'm also a little upset that Elder Scrolls Super Special Edition is
Yeah,
not a
it's
real
not-
thing.
You can't play it on your Alexa, unfortunately. Someone can code that, I'm sure.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. That'd be very hard. All right. So, Peter, what do you got to say about Bethesda's?
Well, I mean, Bethesda has a strong showing, as we all agree on. I guess I'm just a little burnt out on some of their IPs. Like, I'm not super interested in another Wolfenstein, even though I'm sure it'll be very good.
Okay.
I'd never played Prey in the first place, but like the DLC they added to support that game seems really cool. Doom Eternal, I think, is by far the best thing from that show for me personally. I am cautiously optimistic about Fallout 76, but then we'll just have to see how that pans out.
Yeah.
And, I mean, unlike you guys, I actually am very curious as to what Starfield will be. They didn't really show anything at all. They gave it the Metroid Prime 4 treatment, but, like, I think it could be cool, for sure. And I have to agree that I just don't give a shit about that mobile game that they showed off, Blades or whatever.
Yeah, and
It's
then they ported the Fallout Shelter to the Switch and PS4, guys.
Yeah, they did, which is free.
Hooray!
Yeah. Well, I mean, I installed it on my Switch in case I ever get bored of literally anything else.
Yeah.
So
just a doodle game.
Yeah, fair enough.
But that's pretty much it for me on Bethesda.
Okay. Well, the next conference is Squeenix.
It's actually Devolver.
Oh
yeah.
All right, the next real conference. I'm kidding. We'll go to the Devolver. Peter, you want to start us off?
I mean, we talked about it's like the same input as last year. Like the brand of humor that Devolver uses is not really my cup of tea. I was pretty excited about what kind of games they could announce because I do really like a lot of the indie games that they publish. Mm-hmm. But everything this year just kind of seemed meh to me. At least from the gameplay shown. I know that my friend Pedro kind of looks like it could be fun, but I feel like the gimmick of his like the physics-based bullet bending could get boring pretty fast.
But here's the thing: they only announced 3 games.
Yeah,
and that's it.
I mean, well, yeah, it's like a single publisher,
a
single indie publisher. You can't really expect them to announce a shit ton of games.
Yeah,
Metal Wolf Chaos. I don't know about that.
No, I don't even understand what it was.
It didn't look good either.
Well, it's because it's supposedly like a remaster of an old game, maybe.
Yeah.
But
it looked like a Dreamcast game, though.
Yeah, it definitely looked like anime as fuck. Had super cheesy lines and looked really bad. So I don't know. I think.
I mean, we'll see. I just feel like they didn't show off enough about that game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think my friend Pedro is probably my favorite part of that, just because it looks like it has potential, and it also just looks silly.
It does.
He's spinning when he's shooting you, and it's like he's having a great time. And the bullet physics can be pretty fun. So I'm optimistic about that one, but also if it's not good, I also just wouldn't care.
Yeah,
that's kind of
it's something that'll show up in a humble bundle in 6 months. So
yeah, that sounds about right. What about you, Tony?
That's pretty much it too. My friend Pedro Bananas.
Okay,
is the top. It's hard to have a bottom when there's only 3 games, but I mean,
yeah, that's fine.
I guess that is the bottom. The fact that their shows.
I mean, if there's no if we don't really have to have a bottom, but if you do think there's something that seemed particularly bad, you could point it out.
The thing that I would bring up to that was particularly bad.
The conference
just,
itself is the bottom
how
for me.
Exactly.
The conference itself. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Doesn't she die last year too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Next up is Squeenix. So Squeenix had a kind of a weird conference.
They did.
It was, no word of Final Fantasy whatsoever, at all. So there's that. I think for me, obviously, Kingdom Hearts 3 is the thing I'm most hyped for.
Well, they had Final Fantasy 14.
Wait, what?
The expansion for Final Fantasy 14 DLC thing.
Even 7.
It's
like a new property kind of a thing. Or not even property, just a new game.
Sure.
Monster Hunter crossover.
They did have a new property, but...
Babylon's Fall.
No, they had 2, actually. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Okay, so Kingdom Hearts 3 is easily the thing I'm most hyped for. Dragon Quest 11 looks like it could be really good, so I'm keeping an eye out for that. Mm-hmm. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I don't really need another Tomb Raider game in my life at the moment, but I feel like it could be good, but easily the worst thing I've ever seen. It might be the worst thing in this entire conference, or this entire E3, really, was The Quiet Man.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Dude, that blend of
bad.
FMV into game back into FMV with the cheesy lines and the shitty actors and basically showcasing really generic looking combat with
it was really bad.
It's so what we're supposed to get from that is he's deaf. It's okay, what does that do for us gameplay wise? They didn't show anything to support how that's going to make the game interesting,
Yep. So that looks really bad. I kind of forgot what Babylon's Fall was. Is that the Mecha game?
That's the Platinum game. It looked like it was sort of a like
Platinum's
fantasy-looking game, I want to say.
Platinum Games game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully that's good because they make hard as fuck games.
Yeah, Platinum does well. I mean, they gave us Bayonetta.
Yeah.
They got us Beautiful Joe and stuff like that. Like, they make good
Nier
games.
Didn't they make it Nier? Or is that not them?
I'm pretty sure it was Nier as well. So they've made good games. So hopefully that one's good.
We'll see.
Like you, my favorite thing about Square Enix was Kingdom Hearts 3. But that was also like in a lot of conferences. So
that was like a lot of different trailers, and like the trailers themselves didn't vary all that.
No, in fact, I think Square Enix's was exactly the same as Sony's, or exactly the same as even Microsoft's. I want to say
one of them had something different. One of them was Pirates of the Caribbean, and two of them were Frozen, and the rest of this.
Yeah, like
I want to say Square Enix's was Pirates, and the rest were. No. I really don't remember.
No, Square Enix's was Frozen. So it was literally the first one we saw at Microsoft, which was super jarring to see this Square Enix, the people that make this game, showing the exact same trailer as Microsoft, the people that have nothing to do with this game.
Yep. I think Sony is the one that had the Pirates one.
But despite saying all that, I'm still pretty hyped for this game. Looks pretty good.
I'm hyped enough to where I might actually buy a PS4.
Oh, well, we'll get into why I bought a PS4 later. But least favorite thing, again, you said it, that's just the be quiet, like Quiet Man. I know I'm just going to call it Be Quiet, but the game just doesn't look good based on that. Like, I know...
Well, it might be like Daredevil, except he's blind.
But they didn't give us any information about that. Like,
you can see everything.
Like Peter said, FMV into video game into FMV, and that FMV had nothing to do with gameplay. The gameplay they show had nothing to do with gameplay.
No, it was.
And then it went straight back to FMV, and it was like,
I mean, if it has something to do with gameplay, it's the dullest looking alley brawler thing. What the fuck?
Yeah, the graphics looked awful on that.
Yeah, it did not look good.
I hope that wasn't gameplay.
And what about you, Tony? What do you got to say about Squeenix?
I think mine is about the same.
About the same.
Quiet Man, boo.
I mean, it was a short conference, so
it was. They like speed ran the conference
or something, 28 minutes.
They had a couple other things like the Dragon Quest and like a couple other things, but really those two were like the standout best and worst.
Yeah, for sure. Babylon's Fall I had up here more than any other game because it's like brand new. But again, it's by Platinum Games, not even by Square Enix. They just published it. So
yeah, I mean, cool. I'm happy that more of their games are coming out.
It's true.
So yeah,
we'll see how that goes. That's it.
All right. So the next one is
Ubisoft.
Hey,
Ubisoft.
It's Ubisoft, bro. Come on.
I don't care.
Should we dance?
What?
That's how they started their show.
Oh, that's right.
Freaking.
Oh my goodness.
Live marching band with a panda.
Yeah. So Tony, do you want to start us off on Ubisoft?
Sure. They announced a bit, I think, but I did put 3 on here as my tops. Skull and Bones was way up there for me. Last year they kind of teased something about it where, like, you know, you'd play as different people at different parts of the ship and, you know, take down other enemy ships as a pirate, whatever. This trailer looked really interesting this time. It was more action oriented, I think. I felt like it showed actual gameplay, although it could have been
scripted,
pre-animated,
kind of things.
whatever. But it's definitely a pirate game that should exist, unlike another game that we could bring up.
Oh man!
But this seems like this is the real pirate game that people might really get into. So I'm very curious about that one. Starlink was announced from Ubisoft. This one is I mean, it was announced in multiple things, but I don't know. I'm interested to see how this, because it's kind of like a Skylanders type thing where you have, you know, the physical physical thing, but you mod it and then that mod shows up in the game and you can play as Fox and his crew.
I've always liked that idea from Skylanders. I'm surprised more people didn't jump on that.
Yeah. I mean, they've run on sale for a long time. You could still buy Skylanders.
Yeah, I mean,
but
they're going out though.
Yeah, just that physical modular ship idea is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about that. And then I didn't play Origins, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you can play as a female character now, like welcome to 2018 or welcome to 2000. I don't know. It's welcome to 1970. I don't know. They're a little behind.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. It takes place in Greece, and it looks really nice.
So you've basically talked about every game.
Those 3 games.
That's basically every game they had. No, but
They had more.
Those are like your top 3?
Yeah. I don't know if I have a bottom one. For some reason, I don't remember that conference.
They didn't have too many things to talk about. Hi, we can still hear you.
Okay, I can't. You guys are cutting out a little bit for me.
Oh.
Hello? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So there wasn't too many more things besides what you talked about. There was the Beyond Good and Evil.
2. Yeah.
There's the Division 2. And
Trials.
Trials, the bike game.
Hello?
That's about it. Hi, Peter.
Okay. I heard Beyond Good and Evil 2, and then it cut out again.
Okay.
I don't know if it's us or you. We're
I
both
don't
on
think it's
Wi-Fi.
me. I'm on a laptop.
I mean, okay.
Okay. Well,
So for me, I wasn't really excited about anything Ubisoft announced.
What about Transference VR?
Still not excited. They had Just Dance 2019. They had a bunch of things, but like, I don't know. I just wasn't too amped about anything. Like, I like the theme that they're going with for the new Assassin's Creed, but I've never liked Assassin's Creed. Beyond Good and Evil 2, I know a lot of people are like cult happy about that coming back.
Cult happy.
Well, because it's kind of a cult classic game at this point. But I'm not too excited. Division, I was never too excited about.
Oh, The Crew 2. Open beta is live right now.
Oh, there you go.
Forgot about that.
But yeah, I don't know. I didn't like or dislike anything Ubisoft said. So
it's just neutral.
I'm very neutral about Ubisoft.
All right.
What about you, Peter?
Ubisoft has some interesting stuff. I think they just had a lot of like either DLC or sequels announced.
Mm-hmm.
I never played the first Beyond Good and Evil game, but that trailer did look cool. But from like the tidbits of gameplay I saw, like it didn't look super interesting. So that's a maybe. Just Dance looks amazing. Oh, this might be the best one yet. To be honest, like, that marching band was quite good. But Division 2 actually looks pretty cool. A lot of the abilities I saw look really interesting. If they nail the formula this time, that could be a really fun game.
Mm-hmm.
They could pull a fucking They could pull a Bungie and completely destroy the game again. Whatever, we'll see. But that's not a game I'm probably going to get on release. But if I hear that it's good, I might get it. We'll see. I feel like I really do want a loot and shoot kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It interests me for sure. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think, looks interesting, but it's kind of hard for me to pick up an Assassin's Creed game these days. I actually thought the For Honor Marching Fire DLC looked really cool. Like the introduction of the Chinese characters. I thought that was actually... Like, I have zero interest in For Honor, but that kind of made me interested again, especially since they gave out the starter edition for free for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought that was cool. Maybe I'll try it out later, but the only thing deterring me from playing that game right now is that the fucking game is 60 gigs. So, like,
yeah, it's very
Ubisoft has some big-ass games.
They do.
Starlink, honestly, looks pretty fun. This is coming from the guy that's addicted to Amiibo. Like, I'm super not interested in collecting all the peripheral bullshit for that game. I hope that you're able to, like, use customize and unlock things for your ship in-game. Because I think a cool spaceship shooter kind of game, that seems like it would be right up my alley. So I hope that game should be fun, but I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of funny that they put Star Fox in it because like Nintendo can't make a good Star Fox game themselves, so they kind of handed off the IP to someone else.
Womp womp.
So,
well, Nintendo didn't make Star Fox, the last one, did they?
Wait, what?
Platinum made the last one on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Well, but
it's their property. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So, that last Star Fox game had like the most promise in terms of being like a good Star Fox game, and it ended up being bad. So
maybe that's why. Maybe Nintendo should make Star Fox, not someone else.
Well, sure.
Well, Well, fucking Nintendo has every opportunity to do that shit. It's on Nintendo to do that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So
It's not like Nintendo was itching to make a fucking Star Fox game, which is quite obvious since they keep handing off the IP to other people.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
well,
Maybe someday we'll see it.
Yeah, the next conference in the list was PC Gaming Show,
This one was fucking long. It was the longest one. It was like 2.5 hours.
they had so many things. I don't even know where to start with them, and I don't really want to start with them.
But see, here's the thing. Microsoft announced 50 games, and it was shorter than PC Gaming Show
Yeah,
by like half.
yeah. No, I really don't know.
Well, that's because PC Gaming Show basically had a bunch of expansions and shit too, right? Like nothing new.
Yeah, and also Day 9 interviewed like everybody after the trailer
I mean, Day
for
Nine's
every single one.
Day Nine's a really cool guy, but the conference in general was just a drag.
Yeah, it was kind of boring. But I mean,
And
I guess-
quite frankly, I don't remember what I like or dislike about it because I was bored.
we'll have a few. So a few really stood out to me.
Okay, go ahead.
Satisfactory is like I never played Factorio or anything like that, but this looked very interesting because it is a first-person game where you gather the materials and build your factory parts in an open field in that first-person view that's not top-down. So the graphics looked really, really nice, actually, and that would be it's an interesting concept. Turning that top-down view kind of base building a factory self-sustaining system game into a first-person game. I don't know, that was notable to me. There's another one called Noita, which was a like pixel platformer that reminded me of Risk of Rain, but you're like this wizard or something that has a staff with powers. It looked interesting to me
All right.
because I liked Risk of Rain a lot. And then the third one they announced that I took a fancy to was Hitman 2.
Which is weird because they didn't have a trailer for Hitman 2 in the Square Enix conference.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
PC Gaming Show did.
Huh.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's because Square Enix doesn't own it anymore.
That's right.
I completely forgot about that part. Okay,
That's
never
right.
mind.
They gave up the rights. Yeah, those are the three out of the 37 games or whatever they announced.
What about your bottom one? Just give us one.
Oh boy. You gotta come back to me. I gotta look at the list because there are so many games.
All right, Peter. PC gaming.
Man, there's so many fucking games, but the only game that stood out to me that told me like, oh man, I fucking need this game inside me right now is Valkyria Chronicles 4 easily.
Okay.
Oh
It's
yeah.
the final. It's like an actual like spiritual sequel to Valkyria Chronicles 1.
Nice.
So I think that's going to be pretty hype. Other than that, like the thing I cared the least about easily was Star Citizen, because who fucking cares unless you're a backer to that bullshit.
At this point, it's basically a pyramid scheme. I don't know. It just feels like
They didn't have Star Citizen. They had the
Yeah,
game,
they did.
They had a game called Star Control.
No, they have details
Star
about Star
Citizen
Citizen.
Alpha 3.2 teaser, motherfucker.
Oh, I must have
Yeah.
skipped it on purpose.
It's been in alpha for what, 10 years now? Like, my God.
Yeah, I don't know. That was fuck. I didn't fucking care at all. And like I was reading some comments online about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this teaser is like super misleading because a lot of the features they showcase aren't going to even available in the game for a while." So I was like, "Oh, well, that's even better."
That sounds like Star Citizen.
Yep.
All right. Well, Tony, did you want to say anything else about PC gaming or want to just move on?
Yeah, I guess the Overwhelm, I think, was one that I didn't particularly like.
Okay.
I think that was another like dungeon roguelike-ish kind of thing that was trying to use pixel graphics, but in a terrible way. It
Yeah.
looked god-awful.
Pixel graphics can be extremely dividing.
Oh, is that the one that uses like? Oh fuck! Hold on. Well, continue though.
Well, that's pretty much it we have
Yeah,
for PC gaming.
I think Overwhelm was the one that looked like shit to me.
Yeah. Peter, are you ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh
Okay.
yeah, Overwhelm was the game that was like all red and black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was hard to look at.
So the next conference was Sony.
Looked like a period.
Yeah. Looked like a bad one. Sony at E3 2018.
Oof.
And
Man.
I'll go ahead and start with this one. So I was teasing earlier that I had a reason I bought a PS4, and they showed the reason I bought a PS4 at this E3, which was Last of Us Part 2. And not just a little trailer like they showed last time.
Yeah, this was...
They showed gameplay, or at least scripted gameplay.
Yeah,
and,
for just wrecking people.
And boy, does it look gruesome and exactly what I want from a Last of Us 2, man.
It just shows that Naughty Dog's on top of their game in terms of like animation and rigging. Like it's just...
Oh my god, yeah.
It was so fucking good.
I remember watching like the documentary like that was included in The Last of Us 1 for how they made The Last of Us, and it's like the attention to detail, the care and everything, the animations are just, they're so good at what they do. Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
And
I gotta say that was like the most realistic looking kiss that I've seen in a video game.
Yeah,
I was really
that
impressed.
was. If anyone had seen any news about the Sony conference, it was the kiss of Last of Us 2.
I mean, it had like the
kiss,
skin
dude,
pulling.
their kiss tech is just generations ahead.
Yeah.
The physics behind it were perfect.
Yeah. But I mean, seriously, I super cringed when I saw the hammer enter that guy's head and break off. I was like,
"Oh my goodness!" It like I said, that game just looks brutal, man.
Yeah.
And like
that would look awesome in 4K.
They showed this gameplay was people versus people, or I should say Ellie versus people. And I'm really curious, like, what role everyone's going to play in the game. Like, from the teaser they showed to now, there's very little information about the story, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
It's just, it's brewing like, ooh, what's everyone's role in this game? Is everyone still alive? Like, all that kind of stuff, you know? So, it's very, like, I'm really excited for that game, and it is literally the reason I got a PS4. As soon as they announced it, I was like, well, time to go get one. And yeah, so that's far and beyond my most hyped part of the Sony E3 2018. My least favorite thing was probably... No.
Oh, there's an easy one for me, but continue.
For me...
Neo 2.
I don't... No, it's not Neo 2.
Death Stranding. There
was a game that I'm not sure about because it's made by the same people that did the Dark Souls series, I want to say.
Oh, Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, which they added like a couple mechanics to make it look more interesting, but it's also doesn't look that different besides that one mechanic, which is like the hook shot thing that they have going on.
Yeah.
So like... It's just a hook.
Okay, just like a hook on a rope.
There's a grappling hook, yeah.
Yeah. So like beyond the grappling hook, it really doesn't look that different. It's still like the same core gameplay, which I'm sure a lot of people will like about it because that's kind of what people like about Dark Souls, but I don't know. It'd have to have something going for it. For me, that's probably
from my understanding, it's like grounded in reality. Like it's about the Mongol invasion of Tsushima. Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool.
So
it looks nice.
That's probably my least favorite thing about the conference, but also like it can be good.
Man, if that's the least favorite thing of your conference, there's one you're just straight up forgetting, and I'll remind you.
Please remind me now, actually.
Okay, so easily my favorite was obviously Last of Us Part 2, but I need to give a big-ass shout-out to both Ghost of Tsushima and the fucking RE2 remake, baby. Resident Evil 2 is back, baby!
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that looks so good.
Also the new Spider-Man.
That was a gruesome trailer.
Spider-Man also looked great.
Yeah, Spider-Man looks really cool.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I was really impressed by Sony's conference overall, I would say, other than the fact that the conference itself was fucking weird and stupid.
Yeah.
In my count here, there were only 7 games.
They had really, really good-looking games. No, you're looking at the wrong thing. I gotta say that even though I hate Destiny 2, their Forsaken story trailer looked interesting in the fact that they fucking straight up killed Cade 6. So, feels bad, man. I really did like that guy.
Cade was good.
But other than that, I think my least favorite, easily, was Trover Saves the Universe. That stupid-looking Rick and Morty looking game.
That I did miss that. You're correct.
I actually didn't watch the full trailer.
Okay.
What?
Okay. I mean,
there's a lot of games I missed then.
Yeah. That game. Okay, you're right. That one does take the place of Ghost of Tsushima
conference.
But yeah. I still want to say that I'm skeptical about Ghost of Tsushima just because it is the Souls peoples. But
that's true.
You're right. That is definitely the worst.
Wait, is it the Souls people or the Bloodborne people?
Right, Bloodborne. Sorry, I mean similar. Wait, was that the same studio?
Bloodborne was like Dark Souls. I don't know if they
I think it was
or
the same studio.
or they just throw you in there and don't tell you
Sucker
anything.
Punch Productions. I guess that is just that studio that did.
The Souls people are making Scene or whatever that game is called.
Okay.
From Software, yeah.
Yeah, From Software. That's right.
Dark
That's Dark Souls. So Sucker Punch is doing Ghost of Tsushima, which was Bloodborne, I believe. Okay, so
Might be good.
it could be. A lot of people really like Bloodborne, so
Yeah.
there's that. Tony, what about you?
Let's see here. I put top 3.
Again?
Yeah, Last of Us Part 2, Spider-Man, and Ghost of Tsushima. Look, it just I
Wow,
don't know.
no RE2 love, huh?
Oh, don't get me wrong. RE2, I'm definitely interested in,
Yeah,
but I've played it enough.
Dude, but that game looks so different.
It does. They put it in the Resident Evil 4 style where it's the like over the shoulder and you're aiming and stuff. So I'm interested in how that's going to change.
it is a complete remake. It's not a
Yeah. It's funny that we didn't get any Final Fantasy VII news.
yeah.
But, that's...
Haven't they had problems with like developers and
From my understanding, they're making the game from the ground up again, so...
Yeah.
again? Oh,
Yeah.
My God. All right. But, yeah, no, it does look good. It's just, it cannot top The Last of Us 2.
that was
no,
that was a
easily.
strong
No
trailer.
problem.
Yeah, very strong.
Yeah. Like, Last of Us Part 2 is easily the most... But then I just wanted to give some props where it was deserved.
Yeah. The one thing for me that I have no idea how to feel about is Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. Yeah.
Like,
Nobody knows. Still,
this
made it even more confusing.
I've seen like 3 trailers for that game, right?
Yeah.
And every single time, the first one I was like, oh, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I might learn more later.
Mm-hmm.
Second one I was like, I guess I learned something, but not really. And the third one I'm just like, well, I'm about where I was in the first trailer.
There's a baby.
Dude, at the end of the day, I think the trailer is successful in that I just want to play the game and see what the fuck this is.
I am a little disappointed just because apparently you're a delivery boy, and that's part of the game. But
Are you just delivering the baby?
Well, I don't know. That's
the
the thing.
fetus. Sorry, it's not a baby yet.
Well, like, there's a lot of... I've watched some videos trying to analyze what's going on, and some of them make sense, but at the same time, in them making sense, it doesn't make sense, kind of a thing. Like, just like, there's so much random crap going on. The only person that probably knows what's going on is, of course, the man himself that's making the game, Kojima. Not Kojima. Wait. Yeah, right?
It is Kojima.
Kojima, yeah. It's just, I don't know. That's all I can say about it is I don't know. I will say that the graphics looked a bit dated, surprisingly. Like, not the cutscenes, just the in-game gameplay graphics looked a bit dated.
I do believe it's because it's using the same engine
As like when it
Oh
first
wait, no,
started.
no, that's not true. I believe they're using the engine from what's that
Frostbite?
game called?
Yeah, I don't know.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, I don't know. But I
That's Frostbite,
don't know what to think of the game.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to know more, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even have a bottom because clearly I didn't watch the entire conference.
Yeah, it was probably
So-
what Peter said. You can just say it was that one.
I'll agree.
All right, well, there was one more conference, and that was, of course, the Nintendo conference.
Oh, I thought it was the Atari conference. Shit, I must have watched the wrong.
Oh, man, you missed it,
Damn
Peter.
it.
All right,
All right.
so, well, I think, let me just take a quick guess as to what our top game for this one was.
Overcooked 2.
Yeah, right? Right, Peter? Overcooked 2?
Hands
know-
down, number 1.
I actually gotta say, I am super hyped for Super Mario Party.
Oh,
me too.
my God, yeah. So it's funny. Every single game Nintendo announced, I'm at least a little interested in. You know?
Fortnite.
No, that's not okay.
I tried it. Actually, using a controller does wonders in that game. It's actually easier than a keyboard.
No, okay, you're actually
you're
okay.
I think it's easier.
okay.
No.
Well,
Just shut up. Never speak to me again.
okay. Besides Fortnite, which was already a thing,
Yeah. I don't play the game anyway.
pretty much every game I was at least a little interested in.
Slight pause as Matt dies and then
Yeah. Sorry,
resurrects.
my bad.
Have you resurrected yet?
Slightly. at least a little bit. But of course, the game I'm probably the most hyped for is Smash Ultimate. They finally gave us a name for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were keeping us in the dark on that for a while.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Dude, I totally feel like this is the last Smash game.
I mean, we've thought that a few times. I mean, the only indication that it could potentially be the last one is they literally took everyone from every game and put them into
and
the
also
Smash.
it's called Ultimate, not Penultimate.
I mean, sure.
Although that would be a silly title.
Some people have sort of compared this to like the new releases of like Street Fighter Arcade Edition for Street Fighter 4 or like Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate for 3 and like stuff like that. So it's very much the same sort of feel as Smash 4, but it's definitely like a newer game with newer mechanics and new characters.
Yeah, the graphics are also updated. Different, like
They're different.
and when you die, or if it's your last stock, it does this like quick time thing.
Well, in a 1v1, if you're being hit by a strong attack that's about to kill you, it'll like do a little cutscene of you being hit by that attack.
I liked how you call that a quick time event. As if
Yeah, it's not quite
that
a quick
makes
time
absolutely
event.
no sense. But sure, let's move on.
Yeah, so that and the Mario Party game,
slow-mo.
like I think those two games just alone, if that was the conference, I would have been happy. Like, not like, of course, I would want more, but just those two games being announced in the way they were, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Mario Party game is a proper Mario Party game.
It is, and you can freaking mod the map with different
Yeah.
switches.
So I watched a couple conferences, like the tree houses and like gameplay of both Smash and Mario Party, and I gotta say, that Mario Party looks really awesome. What's one of the interesting things is each of the characters has their own specific die they can roll. So you have the normal die, 1 through 6, not 1 through 10, which somehow was a 6-sided die. 1 through 6.
The magic.
And then each character has their own special die. So like Mario will have like a 1, 3, 3, 3, 5, 6 die. So you get more 3s. You just don't get a 2 and a 4. And like Bowser has one that's like -2 coins, -2 coins, 1, 5, 7, 10. So like his is a high risk one, but you can get really far in it. And like that's really interesting. And the mini games look really fun.
There's a lot
And-
of physical ones, right?
It's a good looking game too.
It's a good looking game, and the games just look really fun, which is exactly what you want from a Mario Party.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that, just almost as much as I am for Smash.
Yeah, that we needed a new one
God, yeah.
after that last.
Although Mario Party
horrid-
is coming out before Smash,
it's true.
so yeah. I don't think I have a least favorite thing from Nintendo. They were all at least somewhat good. I mean, Fortnite is probably my quote unquote least favorite, but that's just because I don't care about it coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I do have another least favorite thing for Sony. Speaking of Fortnite on the Switch,
Oh yeah.
and that is Sony's continual reluctance to do crossplay with anyone, and in fact, causing people that created an account on a Sony console to be locked out of the game if they used it on the Switch.
Yep. Oh god.
Hold on, we're getting an interrupting phone call. Okay, back to normal. So, yeah, that's my take on the Nintendo conference. What about you guys? What about Peter? Why don't you kick us off on some more talk?
I'm going to be more of a cynic.
Okay.
I think they spent too much time talking about Smash. I personally didn't care for like all the different changes they talked about. I think they could have been.
I can agree with that. It was like
That's-
20 something minutes of.
I
Just
think
at
they
least
could have
half the
kept that for
conference.
like the treehouse bullshit. Because like some of the characters there, they even just were like, yes, Pichu still damages himself, and like Pikachu is male or female. It's just
Yeah.
like shit, like it kind of dragged.
Yeah,
after a
no,
while.
I can see that for sure. I'm just looking at the game itself, and I'm
No,
I'm hyped for the
agreed.
game.
But if we're talking about the conference, like there's that. Also, like, not to be the fanboy that expects everything they want, but like I am kind of disappointed to not see an Animal Crossing game come out for Switch yet.
Well, there were a couple games I was disappointed not to see.
Yeah.
F-Zero.
Yeah, we were.
I was really hoping for an F-Zero,
Yeah.
and I was hoping for more information on Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, they didn't.
I mean,
that at
I think
all.
the surprise, the most welcome surprise for me for Nintendo is definitely Super Mario Party.
Oh God, yeah.
And what's it? Oh, Overcooked 2.
Yeah,
For sure.
Overcooked 2 looks really fun
What
as
about
well.
what about Damon X
I
Machina?
mean, Damien X Machina looks like it could be really good, but I'm kind of,
Skeptical.
cautiously optimistic about that game. We'll see.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Tony? Sorry,
yeah.
Peter, go on.
Oh,
Still going, man. Carry on.
but yeah, I was just gonna say the game I really cared least for would probably be SNK Heroin Tag Team Frenzy.
Okay, that's probably fair. Which that game is kind of dumb looking.
Yeah.
It's not just for
Definitely dumb.
Switch, right? It's on everything.
I actually don't know, but like the only people that talked about it was definitely Nintendo.
Yeah,
so.
it was definitely an odd inclusion. But yeah, anything else, Peter?
Oh no, that's it.
All right, Tony, what do you got?
So, yeah, definitely Smash and Super Mario Party. That was really a surprise.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah, I think we were just talking about it not too long before that. Like we needed something like that to come out, and
Yeah.
bam, it smacked us. with
They heard us.
Super Mario Party, and like again that scene where they were at a restaurant or something. And they had 3 switches,
Two switches.
2 switches, and then they were changing the configuration of the map, and then you draw your finger through it, and like this is how we want to play the map. Like that was nuts.
It's so cool.
Like I think we all out loud just said, "What the hell, Nintendo?"
It's a really cool idea.
Yeah,
And I saw some of the games that they did with that, and they're using it pretty interestingly.
yeah. And then my third would be Octopath Traveler.
Ah, yeah. You've been excited for that for a while.
Yeah, and even Fire Emblem 3 Houses looks pretty good too.
Yeah. Well, they just announced so many things again that I'm at least a little interested in. You know,
Right.
it's hard to say like. Well, I mean, obviously we have a couple that are like standouts, but there's no real downer for me on Nintendo this year.
I don't think I can think of a.
Like a negative.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a solid conference. Other than Smash did go on a little bit too long.
Yeah.
They could have cut that.
I mean, the only thing I can say that I'm disappointed with Nintendo is things they didn't talk about.
Yeah,
They
like
didn't talk
what
about
we
their
said.
online service.
Oh yeah, that's
Good
right.
God.
They didn't talk about Metroid Prime 4, of course. So, like, in terms of what was in the conference,
Yeah,
nice.
it's good.
I think of all the things they really need to talk about, they really need to talk about their online service.
Yeah,
They really should have.
yeah. So, I guess in that regard, I was disappointed. But in terms of what they talked about, I wasn't really disappointed with anything.
So typical Nintendo, honestly. Great games, horrible implementation of like every other basic function or feature.
Although, funny enough, Fortnite does have Bluetooth headphone capability, so you can communicate with Bluetooth headphones. Nintendo.
It doesn't have to be Bluetooth either. You could just plug in your regular headset.
So, like, what the hell, Nintendo?
So the tech is there. They just refuse to use it.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb.
Just a little.
Kind of dumb.
Whatever.
But yeah, that was the last conference of E3. Is there anything else we wanted to talk about the conference in general? Any comments?
I mean, overall, favorite conference. It's close, but I probably think it's going to be Sony for me actually this year.
Wow. Okay.
Sony this year. Microsoft. Really, the only thing that really excited me was like fucking Cyberpunk. It was just like had me by the balls. It was so good.
Would you say Cyberpunk, was your
Cyberpunk
most?
is coming to other platforms, and I think my preferred platform is going to be PC. So
Oh yeah, by and large.
Yeah.
yeah, but Nintendo had a very solid conference overall. I would say, other than the fact that they left out some pretty key information.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would say that overall this year was pretty good. There were a couple duds. EA was a dud. PC gaming was mostly overall a dud for me.
Yeah.
I think PC gaming, I kind of see it as a kind of like a filler thing, where it's like, oh yeah, here's just some shit coming out and like info if you're kind of interested. It wasn't like a proper conference.
Yeah, which for me is a dud when it comes to E3.
True.
But you know, my top ones would have to be Nintendo and Sony, just because of The Last of Us 2 and Nintendo. Again, I'm interested in pretty much everything they talked about. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Tony?
I think I would agree with Nintendo and Sony.
Nintendo, Sony.
Wow,
They-
being individual, you piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, just the specific games they announced, you know?
Yeah.
Although I kind of did like Microsoft's. It was the way they flowed their presentation
Mhm.
was probably the most cohesive of all of them.
Okay.
Who's?
Microsoft.
Really? I would say Bethesda actually had the best in terms of flow. Because Todd Howard is just a great presenter. Holy God.
He is.
And
Yeah.
Pete Hines is also very good, or was very good this year at least.
I will
I
say
enjoyed
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I will say that Microsoft did do a good job of, despite them showing off so many games, it felt like you were at least engaged the whole time.
Yeah.
Unlike, again, PC gaming.
Yeah, no cringy announcer on the platform talking about esports. So
Yeah, that's true. And it was Phil Spencer out there.
Yeah.
yeah, Phil Spencer's always good though.
Yeah.
So I like him a lot. Honestly, if there was a reason why I would trust the Xbox brand the most, would probably be because of Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
Like
he's-
honestly, Sony as a brand is kind of pissing me off right now.
yeah.
But it's just the games that they have are just so good that it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
you can't. It's hard to
That's true.
out of principle just not buy Sony products. You know?
Yeah. If their games were on other consoles or PC, wouldn't even be a question.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just because of the ethics, I would choose other places, even if I had to buy an Xbox instead of a
Yeah,
PS4.
easily. Like I think Phil Spencer Phil Spencer and Microsoft have the most, I want to say, consumer friendly policies and outlook in general. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I would say my top 3 games from E3 this year are Smash, Last of Us 2, and Cyberpunk 2077. Those would be my top 3.
Oh man.
Would you say those are your top 3, Peter?
Yeah, easily. The order is a little different, but yeah.
Yeah, no, those were in no particular order because I think all
Okay,
3 of
then
those
yeah,
are
those
like,
are my top 3 for sure. But if I had to talk about games I was just probably gonna buy, there's over 10.
yeah,
Definitely.
no, definitely. Tony,
Yeah.
sorry.
Same boat.
Tony, same 3.
Those three
Yeah, those
makes the most sense to me.
So you heard it here, guys. CSD Cast top 3 of E3 2018: Cyberpunk 2077, Last of Us 2, and Smash in no particular order.
Yep.
And only one Nintendo game. So
Yeah, I mean there were strong showings. So
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
cool.
All right. Do we?
I think we adjourn because the person whose room I'm speaking from, they need to sleep.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
that's a
Yeah,
fair thing to do.
that's fair.
Feel a little bad, but yeah, I mean,
I think we got
got
a
through all
good
the
amount of
conferences.
content.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's enough salt for us today. We will see you next time for episode 46.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you for listening.
Be sure to visit our site on csdcast.com.
Yeah. Send all your emails to
Hooray, goodbye.
email csdcast.com.
Canadian insanity. Bye.
See you later,
See you
guys.
next week.
See ya.